Hi, can I ship a new business idea in an hour? Let's find out today. I met a lot of people who were saying things like, I want to start a business, but I don't know what to build, or I want to build a new product, but I don't know what to make. And we're always struggling because there's so many possibilities and we don't know what the market's going to want. It feels like you have to build this huge amount of stuff in order to figure out what the market wants, and it becomes paralyzing. Now, I've helped companies, I've helped teams, and I've helped individuals to figure this out using a particular style of mapping that I have evolved from a bunch of other techniques, which is it's one of the methods from my deck, Innovation Tactics. It's called the Multiverse Map. And I'm going to make one today for a business that I want to start. And the business that I want to start is this thing where I'm going to help you make a map. So the advice that I heard from Charles Burdett, who's the guy behind these pip decks, was this idea: be receptive to what the universe is kind of telling you. And this really jumped out at me. What is your unique skill that no one else knows you can do? Or what's the sort of eclectic ability that you've got when you ask what work doesn't feel like work but feels like play? And what I realized was that this thing that I've done with teams where I make these maps. And I tend to just do it in meetings. I just love doing it. And I find that it's incredibly valuable and explains a lot of stuff to people. And gaps emerge and action can happen. And suddenly, where we were stuck and lost in all the myriad of details, suddenly we're able to make progress again. And it unlocks things. And a few things happened. So, several people have told me, I don't know how you do that. It looks like magic. And I even had somebody, one of my colleagues, say to me, you should make a Twitch stream of yourself doing these, because I was just making a bunch of them with her and another colleague. And I'd just been ignoring that for so long. So I thought, hey, maybe this is a thing that I could do as a business. And then, well, what I'm going to need to do, obviously, is showcase it. So why don't I showcase it on the idea itself? And so that's what we're going to do today. Can I set myself a timer for an hour and just go for it? Just blast through and see if I can map out this business idea and get the bits set up and get this shipped in that time. Let's find out. Are you ready? Let's go. Boom. So an hour. So what's the core? The core of the mapping idea is that my success in this business depends on the behaviors of people who are outside of my control. I can't just put the business out there and then it works. Other people have to put their hand up and say, yeah, I'm interested. Let's get started. So there's two, what's going to have to happen for that is they're going to have to go through a story where they're going to have to find the thing. They're going to have to choose it. Say, yep, I want that. They're going to have to then be able to use the service, and they're going to have to get the value. Otherwise, nothing has really happened. So let's see how I'll start. This is where you start. You just start mapping anywhere. So the point of a multiverse map is I'm going to put myself in that user's shoes. So let's see where they are. Let's say they see post on LinkedIn. I'm going to start anywhere. And this is an interesting thing. You get to start wrong and change it later. See the post on LinkedIn, watch video. Maybe they watch the video, maybe they don't. Do they read? They read what it says. So it's going to say, and this is where I start writing in the sorts of things that it says. So it's going to say it's the offer. So basically, if I offer, yeah, let's do this differently. Read offer. So what I'm going to do is build the offer above. So if I make you a map of your current struggle, business struggle, something like that, in it usually takes a bit longer with people, in 90 minutes. So you can 90 minutes with you, so you can zero in on the most important, on the not most important, on the critical actions to take next. would you take me up on that offer? And then they need some way to apply or book. Okay, so there's an option where we could, so they read offer, so they read the offer, they then say they think, yes, that'd be nice. So there's always something happening at every stage of this multiverse map. Here we're just describing what's going on. So they see the post on LinkedIn, or actually there's a bad world where they don't see post on LinkedIn. There's a whole other thing where I could do other funnels, but let's start with LinkedIn. They watch the video or they don't watch video. If they don't watch the video, they're not going to know what this is on about. So maybe there's another element here, which is they read like hook, ignore, hook. That could be a thing that happens. So they see the post, they read the hook, or they ignore it. They read that after they read the hook, maybe they watch the video, or maybe they don't. After they watch the video, so then they might read the hook, they might go straight to the offer. That's another possibility. They might watch the video and then read the offer. Or they might not watch the video. I know that's not, don't see offer. Then when they think, yes, when they read the offer, or they think, no, not interested. Fair enough. So all we're doing here is telling the story from the user's perspective. Now I'm going to say right now, if you can just take this and start doing it for yourself, go ahead. I think you'll find it incredibly useful for figuring out what things you need to put in place to kind of make your business go. For me, I've found that it's not always the case that people find it easy, and I love doing this. So if you want to take me up on the offer that I'm shaping, I'm going to include details later on. So here's where we're going to go. So once they think yes, what are we going to do? They've got to hit a button. And now I'm thinking, look, we could go through to like apply on a form. So they see a form, but maybe that's a bit much because then there's a form. What I'm then going to have to do is keep track of who's signing up on the form. Then we're going to have to play tennis and book a time in. Then this should be fast. Like the point of this Map Magician thing is bang, it's going to be quick. Let's do it. So instead, hit button. So they will then see, and I've already got TidyCal set up because you can book consulting with me through it, or you can book just a coffee chat. So that's all available. You see TidyCal, and then see there's going to be a sort of description. And that's probably something along those lines as well. Maybe there's other questions that they have. So we're going to be making a description at some point. So think no. So think no, that's that they're out at that point. That's fine. If they think yes, but so there's a risk, like there's not going to be a button on LinkedIn, is there? There's a link. Hit the link. Okay. Miss the link somehow. Maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't. After they hit the link, they'll see TidyCal. Good. Boom. Or something breaks. So no, maybe that, or they might slow load means they bail. So there's some possibilities for what will go wrong here. So I'm just fleshing out this story. I'm going to try and get through the whole story. But at each stage, it's sort of you're shaping it and thinking about it from the perspective of the user, like it's shaping the behavior and thoughts of the user. And we can add something else on now, which is I'm going to start adding in some little pink ones for stories. So these are things that might be going on at this stage. So what we've got here is what makes the hook. Why is that interesting? And is that there's sort of a hook I've got at the start of this. So let's set some options for hooks. One might be, I suppose it's that, can I ship a business in an hour? Interesting. Or there's, that could be it. Can I ship a business in an hour? That then links to, I can help you do this too live. Now, at the moment, this looks like, oh, that's just for small things like one-on-one service consulting type stuff. I've done this for big products, like huge product launches, stuff like that. Like the same story applies. The thing, the single thing you're doing is instead of focusing on you and your needs, which you have to bear in mind, but instead of just being laser focused on that and how we're going to make it happen, instead you need to tell the story from the user's perspective. And I'm really interested to know, like, why is that interesting? Is it interesting? So this is a messy way of doing things, but the neatness will come out of it. So typically there's like a few hundred people who see my posts on LinkedIn. I'm not like some massive influencer. So if we say 500 people see it, well, maybe that's it. 500 people read the hook because that's what we applied to, I don't know, it'll be put in front of who knows how many people. Of 500, I mean, if 10%, 5% watch the video. I reckon five that some of them might watch the video. I reckon maybe 20% might read the offer. That's not 20%, that's 40%. So if we get 100% who read the offer, I reckon of 100% of the 100 who read the offer, who might be interested? I think five maybe would think yes. So we're getting down to quite low numbers. So maybe then I'm starting to think, LinkedIn, I probably need to get this out somewhere else. Well, I've got other routes that are coming later, but let's consider this. So just from doing those maths, it's like maybe LinkedIn won't be enough to actually make this work. But that's okay. What I can do is kind of make other ways of looking at this, other ways of getting it out in front of people who might want it. I can also put this out individually to people, etc. So that's cool. So they see tidy cow, they see some sort of description. Now, what are they wondering? There is, as they see description, they're also going to see choice of dates and times. And then they are ideally going to pick a date and time. Or it may be the case that no times are good. Well, in that case, maybe I need to include in the description, oops. Yeah, want a people need different times. That might be what's going on. So here I'm telling a story about what might be going on at the point where they see a choice of date and times. So people might need different times. So one option that I've got, which I can build on top of that, would be offer like a alternative contact route. Tell me and we'll find a time. So that's something that I should include in the description. So get that in there. If you can't find time that works for you, email me. Cool, that's good. We're also going to have the thing. So what we're going to do, so you're seeing it, you're seeing the description. At this point, when you see Tidy Cal, what do people want? So they already have sort of said, yeah, we're going to make a map of the struggle. There's more information needed at this point. What does this mean? Map? What? I think people are going to be saying in 90 minutes with you, there's a question, how will a map help? So here's one thing that I think is important. Maybe I should get this in. What I'm making is not really a map. It's what I'm trying to get here is a coherent theory of value. So let's make this coherent by adding in a person. So we've got here, this is someone who is, it's going to be an entrepreneur, or actually, what is that true? The people who I think probably would get a lot of use from this would be like head of product type people who are like there's some options. So I don't know who this is best for at this point, which is an interesting one to start to explore. Who might be interested in the market? I have certainly seen entrepreneurs who, and their struggle is, don't know where to start, want to get a business going. Heads of products get stuck with there's like too many options and it's too slow. Like they feel it's too slow to ship experiments. I've definitely seen that with a whole bunch of companies, and that's something I've gone in and helped to shift. With this approach, you'll see soon that this can drastically speed up the experimentation, basically. And we'll say where that really happens is actually there's this moment here where they read the offer, think yes, and hit the link. See TidyCal. This is a signal of want it enough. This is where the rubber meets the road. So one of the questions that I'll be asking is, how can I do that in a lighter weight way? How can I test that faster? And it may be that one of those options. So we've got description sharing here. That's the offer. I'm going to look that up there. One of the options that I might want to do, just DM this, DM a shorter offer. It could also, another option would be, maybe this is just, I'm going to put this on YouTube. So this goes on YouTube. It's going to be a pretty boring YouTube video, as you can see so far. I could also email it to my list. So we're kind of jumping around. I've got a few different options to throw around there. There's also friends, send to friends and like friendly people who I know in the right sort of place. And what I'm sending them then, what's interesting, I think, with this is I feel like I'm sending something where I'm showing, hey, look, here's how I am thinking through this problem for myself. And this is exactly the same problem that every business is involved in. They've got the question of distribution. How are you going to get your thing in front of people? Also known as things like go to market, all that sort of stuff. But fundamentally, your question is, how do we get to a situation where our potential customers will find us and choose us? And that's kind of it. That's what distribution is all about. And then over the other side, we've got what I would call the product or the solution or the service, which is then, well, once they have chosen, there's a lot of steps to choose here. I'm wondering if there's a way to make this actually cleaner and faster, but I think TidyCal might be the best. They pick a date and time, brilliant. And then after that, there will be a payment, pay, okay. And at that point, they might pay or they might bail. And then I'm wondering, like, what's a reasonable amount? What's a good amount to pay here to cost? And that's what I currently don't quite know. I want to sort of figure out what that would make sense as. So they pay right at that point. Once they've paid, they get then confirmation. So we're going to need a confirmation message. Now, some of this I won't have got right. There'll be bits that I've missed, but I'm sketching out as much as I can without getting distracted by setting up technology, etc., etc. So confirmation message, thank you for booking. I think there's one automatically in TidyCal. I'll be in touch. And then we'll think through, what do they need? All you need for the session is yourself, your team, maybe at a laptop, at your computers, so we can jump on Zoom and open a Miro board and get mapping. Now, one of the things that we'll often find around this want it enough and this offer moment, like this is the key bit, isn't it? this moment here, think yes, hit the link. This is the offer moment. And that's like the absolute core. And one of the things you often want to do there is if you're wondering mainly about that and how to present this, then I'd jump into using something called pitch provocations, where we can suggest a range of different offers. That's going to slow you down a bit, but it's useful for unsticking. If you're really struggling to know what the market might value, pitch provocations is a way of poking lots of different parallel ideas and then getting a sense back from the market really quite quickly. But for me, I'm treating this much more like a small bet. It just is what it is. I'm going to make one offer, see how it goes. And I could repeat that offer in different ways at different times. That's another alternative. It's like I'm not going to find the shape of the offer in as quick a way, but I'm just going for it. So you've always got options with this. What's the other moment? They also actually, there's another important point earlier on where when they read the hook and watch the video, people need to get it. So what I'll probably do before I put this live is just grab a fresh pair of eyes. In my case, my partner happens to be a genius copywriter and messaging super expert. So I'll get her to cast her eyes over it, which means I won't quite be fully ready maybe in the hour. We have to work around our baby. But that's the idea. It's good to get her eyes on it because she'll fix stuff that would be really confusing, and I'll be able to fix these problems quite quickly and then make the thing that gets out much more useful. So after they pay, they're going to see a confirmation message. I think they'll get confirmation email. So that'll happen later. Then there's going to be a little wait. So let's add in that. There's necessarily a wait because it's not going to be instantaneous. And then they will see a reminder email on the day. At some point, they will join Zoom. So see reminder email, hit the link, join Zoom. So that reminder has to have Zoom hooked up to it. I think that's all done through TidyCal, which I'll have to check. So I'll actually put a little thing. So I use these orange ones just to say, look, there's a little detail that I need to check. Will TidyCal handle this? Oh no, the orange ones aren't right for this. I use them for the negatives. So we're going to use let's use the dark pink because it's a sort of let's check that type thing. Right, so they join the Zoom. At this point, they're going to hear my intro, my quick intro. Then they will tell me about their situation. This is where it then gets a little bit, it's going to be a little bit complex as a thing. I'm going to leave this quite high level. So yeah, we'll have general conversation. Meanwhile, see Tom making a map. And there's a whole load of conversation and questions. So we could say there's a loop here where there's questions and they're going to keep telling me about the situation and that'll keep shifting. So let's hit Zoom, here a quick intro. They're going to open Miro link. I'll make a board for the customer, which they get to take with them and keep and use if they want to use it. And this is that there's some sort of fundamental loop like this, which we'll get to where there's questions and at some point the map will be finished. Or what tends to happen in these is insights kind of emerge. That will happen in some way. So as we're going around this loop, we're going to get that happening. And that's often when we're layering on the different stories, we're going to punch these the stories and questions and help that to shape. So one question would be like, this is where it's a bit weird in a way, because for a digital product, what you're usually doing is telling the story of somebody using that product, and it's step by step, and it's about interfacing with some software. doing some stuff, and then the software does some stuff in the back end and it comes back. But we're still telling the story. Let's see what's happening. Am I really telling this from the customer's point of view? They are going to see a reminder email. Great. They're going to hit the link, probably not in the reminder email, actually. They'll see a reminder email. That's going to be during the wait, actually. They're going to then open, there'll be a calendar invite. So they'll open their calendar invite. I suspect that's probably it. They'll hit the link. Now there is a world where they forget. So we're not having that actually. That doesn't link directly. I don't want code block. Boom. Maybe they forget. Sometimes the link is broken, but hopefully this won't happen very much. I think this is a fairly irregular thing where the link breaks, that sort of thing. Join the Zoom. Should be all right. I don't see that. These things probably won't go wrong that much. Here, a quick intro should be fine in Miro. So they are going to open the calendar invite. I can imagine that. We picture this in our head right now. Open a calendar invite and hit the link. Boom. You can see Zoom then spooling up. It's saying, waiting for host to let you in. Bosh, we're in. Now, this is interesting. If you're going to do this with your team. So yeah, let's see. What if doing with a team? So there's something here where I can say, feel free to share the invite with other team members you would like to have with you. And why is that important? So a lot of the value of mapping is in the process rather than the end result. So it's good to include. So it's to include teammates, but not too many. Like you also, this won't work if there's 20 people on the end of the call. So limit to about 5 people. That's quite good. Confirmation messages there. That should also be in the reminder email. So let's link those up. Confirmation message, there we go. Da, 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 cool. Reminder email is coming there somewhere in the wait. We've got a reminder to check Tidycal. Right, so they're going to then open the calendar invite. They might share with team. Let's add that in. Team, but everyone is going to, they're all good. Everyone's going to hit the link, join the Zoom. There'll be some sort of quick intro where I'm going to not say too much, but just lay out, this is what we're here to do. I'm going to figure this out as I go. It's not something I need to plan at this stage. Maybe nobody's going to be interested. I just want to know that I can do this. Here, a quick intro. They'll open Mirror Link, so they'll see that in the chat. So we'll do that in. Yeah, that makes sense because I'm going to do one separately for them. So that'll be in the Zoom chat. Then we'll just start working. So this is the key process. So this is the working. So we're going to spend ideally about an hour doing this, but sometimes it can go a bit longer. And here's the thing, insights emerge. What if insights don't emerge? Right? So if there's no insights, then here's a question actually. Can I do another one from there? Yeah, let's do this. So maybe there's a world where from all of that, no insights emerge. Well, in that case, I definitely don't want to make that, have people be underwhelmed by this. Generally, it's something where action does emerge quite quickly. Yeah, but we don't know for sure. Like this is something I've done with teams that I knew already, but this is potentially a big ask. Can I get enough of the context? I don't think I need that much of your context because all I'm capturing when I'm making these maps is your team's thinking. So it should be okay. But if there's no insights, I'd say then we've got some options that we could consider. So maybe we jump straight to options and tell a story. So, so one option would be money back. So I could add a money back guarantee. So if you get to the end of the 90 minutes and you're not happy, no worries. Or I could say, we'll carry on until you get some insights and you sort of know what to do next. Get some insight. I mean, get some insights, no good until you have clarity on next actions. So those are some options. What am I thinking there? This is me being like, I don't want to make this into a disappointing thing. Nobody wants to disappoint their customers, do they? So if there's no other, so guarantee, like one story there is thinking, well, why would I offer a guarantee? So there's this will give a sense of safety for customer, maybe. Because this is something they might be anxious about. There's nothing, if nothing good comes of this, then that's no good. Gives a sense of safety customer, and it also, I'll feel better only being paid when I've added value. Like I don't want to take your money for no use at all. So, or there's another option, we can carry on. So there's a story there. Sometimes it just takes a bit longer. And there's certainly cases where I'm coaching people, and it maybe takes actually a couple of days and a bit of gestation for things to really become clear, because there's often a lot of mess. So maybe carry on, and maybe it's not carry on in that session. Maybe it needs that break. So book a second free session to nail down the to get to clarity. I think that might be an option. So sometimes it just takes a bit longer, and then I'd say sometimes it needs a break. Speaking of needing a break, I'm half an hour in. I need a break, but I'm going to carry on. So here we go. Insights emerge. That's great. Now we've got the worry that there's no insights, and I'm just going to handle that. What we're looking at here is as I said, this is the product side. So this is the distribution. And we're getting from the point where somebody sees this offer and chooses and pays. Like that's all of that is quite important. So up to that pay moment, that is distribution. So let's stick a little line in there. Then on the other side, that's the product. So this is they've paid, great. Now everything else is their experience having paid. So I'm just thinking, yeah, they get this nice confirmation, post-confirmation message, and this is going to say some stuff about it. One other thing here is the offer or make a map. So this isn't quite right. I'm coming back to anything, your current struggle. That's not specific enough. What are you going to get from this? So making the map is not really the key, actually. So if I offered to help you get clarity on your next action, clarity was coming up in the theme right here. Like that's what we're sort of looking for. And if we come back to here, the head of product, too many options, feel it's too slow to ship experiments, looking for clarity to like, be able to, it's kind of roadmap, isn't it? So what are some of we can think about this person, some of the things they're struggling with are they're expected to do prioritization. So prioritization. But one of the things that's hard is when you are a head of product, like your job is the strategy. There's a mixture of stuff. There is some stuff that just has to get done and is guaranteed it has to be done. And it might be stuff people don't want to do, but it has to be done. So that's some stuff you've got to deal with. There's other stuff you've got to deal with where you can't know actually up front whether it will work or not. It's a bet or it's a guess. And that's okay. That's the way we work. But what you often find is the teams, you want the team maybe to treat this as a bet, to treat it as something lightweight and to not overdo it because you don't know it's going to be useful yet. But the team, they are craftspeople and they care. And what they will feel like they're going to get judged on is how well they've done it. Um, and so, even if it's something that shouldn't be taken loads of time on, often teams default to taking loads of time and putting a lot of care into something, which then crashes and burns and gets thrown away anyway. So, we don't really want that. So, but clarity of prioritization, looking, and there's something there about communicating. It's priority level, but it's also like urgency of, and there's something there where this is a big debate. Often, there are teams who like quality matters. Quality does matter. If you're going to make something, like if I'm going to make this offer and make it really good, then I'm going to want to make this high quality. I'm going to want to make it really robust and really nice and have a really nice flow and people to feel great the whole time they're using it and be absolutely like just handheld through it and it works brilliantly. But at this point, I don't know if this is going to work. So I don't want to spend weeks designing that perfect business for nobody to come through it. And it's the same for lots of teams and companies as well. Yeah, if we know for sure that something is needed, then yeah, let's do it properly. The problem is often we don't know whether it's going to be needed or not. And the other thing is we don't know how to do it properly until we've already done it a few times. And so that's kind of the I mean, you should know that if you're going to come on this process with me, that's where I'm coming from, is you probably just need to go out and do this a few times badly, and through doing that, you're going to figure it out because otherwise it's sitting and tinkering in your garage trying to come up with the perfect thing. And you put that out there and it's wrong anyway because you can't know up front. You have to go and do it for real. Um, so that's my philosophy. Once you know that there's real need and you know what you should do, well, then it's on you to put the quality in. Then if you leave it as a crappy thing, that's not okay. You're going to get a lot more, you're going to deliver a lot more value, you're going to have a lot more customer satisfaction, etc., if you make something really high quality. So that's the next step. But you want to know that you're putting in that effort of quality on something that people are going to use. So let's see if I can get this out. What do I need to do to make this actually happen? So I think I'm sort of talking to heads of product. How specific do I need to be is a question I've got here. And this is often, I'll be honest, this is where I get stuck. Like this stuff is not easy. And this is where it's fun to try potentially different offers, that sort of thing. So what am I going to do here? So I'm going to offer to help you get clarity on your most important, most valuable next action. I to help you get clarity on the most valuable by making a map of your current struggle. Is that making a map of that map of your business idea with you? And it's going to take 90 minutes. In 90 minutes. That's it. That's so you can is already baked in there. So if I offered to help you get clarity on your most valuable next action, on your clarity, just get clear. If I offered to help you get crystal clear, that's a bit cheesy. Get clear on your most valuable next action by making a map, a multiverse map of your business idea with you in 90 minutes without, what would be the objections that people have? Oh yeah, cool. I mean, it's without risk in a way, without risk. So that would be, oh yeah, with your money back if it turns out not to be useful. Would you take me up on that offer? And then we're going to say book your book your map magician. No, book your map session. Maybe that's enough. Ooh, okay. I'm working on coffee. I'm working on not much sleep with a small baby. Um, Funny thing, when I'm doing this with people, I can go for hours. When I'm working on my own thing, I really struggle. I get distracted quite easily. But let's zoom out again. So sometimes it is this just this zooming out and zooming in and filling in all the pieces. So I think we're starting to get there. What there's going to be is yeah, there we go. So does it have both of these things? So there's going to be a picture of the video. So we're going to have the video. I think I can put that in LinkedIn and in messages and stuff. It's an interesting question. This is something where I'm going to like tinker with it later, maybe. So let's just check actually. In LinkedIn, if I start a post, I can add media. Oh yeah, and I can add a video, but the video has to be very short from LinkedIn. But I can also add a link from YouTube, I think. So I'm just checking this somewhere else. And what I can do potentially is share an image of this whole board, the chaos that I've got going on here. I'm sure that will be entirely enticing to everyone. But you know, if you really don't like this, you really don't like this. I'll say now, sometimes this product side is more complicated. Like it involves things like learning loops. There's a whole load of ways of modeling your product side to see well, how does it deliver the value? And then by zeroing in on the key parts, we can usually find a way that you can learn way, way faster, like in days rather than in months. Currently coaching a founder who is frustrated that experiments were taking weeks. And so we're zooming down to help them take days instead, hours. And it's using these sorts of methods. So zooming back, let's just go back and do the drill. We're going to go and tell the story. So someone sees the post on LinkedIn, and I think we're going to do this. Can I ship a business idea in an hour? So there's that, which we're then going to have watch this video. And then there's kind of I can help you do this too live. I think those are the stories. And then so it's something here with this sort of messaging. So if I offered to help you get to give you clarity on your most valuable next action by making a multiverse map of your business idea with you in 90 minutes and give you your money back if you're not satisfied, would you take me up on that offer? Book your. So then there's an interesting question here is whether it is a map thing. Do I say, hey, it's mapping? Do people want to buy the map? No, what they want to buy is the clarity. So it's the result. If I'm going to give you clarity on your most valuable next actions. You sometimes you end up with two or three that are really, really critical to figure out. But let's say next action, that's simpler. Okay. So yeah, I think there's something about that is the offer that we're going with. So then you book your map session, there's going to be a link. So I'm going to need to make that link and I'll do like a little bit.ly shortener because otherwise it's going to be a long tidycal. Oh, I think there's a simple tidycal link. So if I go into tidycal, I think I can set up. Okay, let's set that up right now. And I'm going to do here we go, map magician session. Let's say that, magic. Cool, right then. Let's see if I can get this visible. I'm currently doing something that's not visible in the Miro board because I'm working in TidyCal. But what TidyCal is going to say is the same sort of thing. And what we're going to need to have in it, so it's got a TidyCal link, so I know what that is now. So it's tidycal.com/tom.kerwin/map. Let's just call it that. Map. Done. And then we've got, so they're going to see the TidyCal, and it's going to have a description. So I've already started working on that. At the moment, we've got this, so that's no good. So it's going to be that. Duration is going to be 90 minutes. And I'm going to give times when I'm available for this. That should be fine. And there's advanced booking things, and we'll have people book that. Sure, 40 days out. Padding. I might limit that. So there's one per day to begin with. It's going to be online in Zoom. I've got a Zoom link. People can't multiply book yet, guest invites, and I can set it up so 5 guests. Good. And I'm going to charge for this. So there's a question here, how much do I charge? I think I have been doing a consulting hour for which I'm charging $250. So let's set this at the same level. I think like the value, if you think about this in a value, so that's an interesting thing. Think about this in terms of the value of that clarity. You are paying a team, like a head of product, the cost of their team every day is a lot of money. If you can shave 3 days off, like how long it takes a team to get somewhere, that is worth thousands of pounds, tens of thousands potentially. Like teams are expensive. So we're going to book a consultation with, so it's not a consultation, but book a map magic session with me for 90 minutes. Okay, you'll tell me about your situation, conundrum, or puzzle. I'll map as you talk, ask questions, and maybe suggest some options. You'll emerge with more clarity about what you want to do next. Wow, okay, interesting. I will include some padding, so 90 minutes is the best. So, but we've got some other stuff as well, where we've got a call if after 90 minutes you're not feeling any, you don't feel any clearer, you can choose to book another session free. So I'll say, yeah, I'll limit to so one more session, which will be free, or to get your money refunded. That's it. Cool. Nice. There's that. Oh yeah, and then there's this one. So if you can't find any times that work for you, good. So there's something about you can bring your team as well. Come solo or bring up to 5 team, 5 colleagues who should also be involved. Nice. And we said something about that. We've got us, yeah. You can share the invite. Bring along up to 5 colleagues. Yeah. So I'll say that as well. Should also be involved. A lot of the value of the way I map is in the process rather than the end result. So it's effective to include teammates. That's it. So I wonder if this is incredibly tedious for you. Like this I'm just firing off brain ideas as we go. Right. So the C confirmation message, I'll have to set that up. I think there is that. Optional. Yeah. Great. Got that. Customize email reminders. Wonderful. There is an email reminder that goes. Yep, which is it. Okay. That now exists. I'm going to put that in. So I can actually put that in and I'm going to launch this, be able to launch this mapping session thing straight away. Because I could spend time making this really good, getting all the wording tidied up nicely, etc., etc. But the value of this is in the action, and I've got under 9 minutes to go. So what I really need, because the rest of it, this I can just do. But I've thought of going through this process was really helpful because I got to think through what I need to offer as part of the risk reduction. So got here, great. So I'm not going to mention the money at this point. The money will come later. And to be honest, the money, I think if this is something that's interesting and people are actually up for it, I think the value of this goes up. And I wonder, like, what I'd want to do eventually is be able to include, so let's capture some ideas as well. There's also, we're going to need testimonials because at some point later, um, to think yes, to want it enough, some people will need some social proof. And so I can later get testimonials of people who've done this and enjoyed it. It may be too expensive. Well, if it is, then fair enough, it's not the right thing to do. Put up there and we'll figure something else out. So I've done that. Yeah, I can just save this and share it. I think I'll just put it on YouTube. Thinking, so coming back to this core offer, yeah, let's get that. So coherent theory of value, that is it. This is what we're fundamentally mapping is there. So, right, I now have a booking type. So literally, if you want to book this right now, there it is. Go for it. That is now live with this information. I'll tell you one thing that I am going to do, as I said, is just run this past a smart person who can help me just see what I'm missing, because this is helpful, but doing this with two heads paired, which is what I'm offering you to do, is just next level because all the gaps, we'll see them and we'll just fix it and we'll be able to copyright together and just, it's, yeah, it's good. Give you clarity on your notes. So it's more than that potentially. Like, I think, what is it that you get from this? Like, this is where it all comes down to, is getting this offer right, really. So, and this is where I really struggle and I need someone to spar with. But basically, I'm going to say that this is largely a success. So if I now go to LinkedIn, I'm ready. The only thing I haven't got is the video link, but I'm going to write my post. Let's make a bit more space. Here we go. Can I ship a business idea in under an hour? Watch this video. There's something that's missing there. Can I ship a video? So I'm going to put myself into what I'm going to see. I'm seeing LinkedIn scrolling past, and it needs a hook. Yeah, so that's pretty hooky. And what's it going to be? It's from raw idea, thinking through, putting together offer, service plan, and getting it live. That's not good, is it? Okay, don't overthink it. Can I ship a business idea in under an hour? Watch me. And then I'm going to make a YouTube video of this. Watch me on YouTube. I'll say spoiler alert. I did it and you're looking at it. I can help you move this, go this quickly too. using the mapping and planning approach. Planning might be better. Planning approach. Oh God, that's it. The whole thing is about planning. The mapping doesn't matter. Okay, using the planning approach, I share in the video. And then we get to the offer. So if you're, it's kind of finding yourself struggling with, and I've just remembered somebody literally has told me about the problem that they have. Let me pull up their information. Like, I know so many people who are really struggling. Going in circles, yeah, if you're trying to ship but find yourself going in circles. Is that the feeling? It's kind of that, isn't it? It's going in circles or going in circles, overthinking or overthinking or procrastinating. I have. That's it. So yeah. So this is it. If you're trying to ship, it's interesting. I think this is good. Okay, cool. So if you're trying to ship but find yourself going in circles, overthinking or procrastinating, then bang. If you, yeah, then if I offered to give you clarity on your most valuable next actions by making a map of your situation with you, like in the video, in 90 minutes, under 90 minutes, by making a map of your situation with you, like in the video, and give you your money back if you're not satisfied, would you take me up on that offer? Book your map session. Bosh, and there's the link. Right, 35 seconds to go. I might have to tweak this a little bit, but I can fundamentally copy paste that into LinkedIn, save this video, put it on YouTube, and then we'll see what happens. So if you're watching this, we don't know the answer, but we do know that you've watched this and you've watched for an hour. And if you've done that, then I salute you with both hands. But yeah, it's more fun to do than it is to watch. Join me.